I'll share my story a little bit, how we founded Hoolest and the story behind the product and everything. So yeah, essentially, I founded Hoolest as part of my PhD program in biomedical engineering. I finished my PhD program in 2020. I went to Arizona State University and I studied under one of the country's leading kind of neuromodulation scientists. And so I had always grown up with an interest in the brain and, just wanted to study, like, what is the brain? How does it work? How does it control everything? And it was just so fascinating to me. And so during my program, my goal was I wanted to develop some kind of non-drug tool or method that could quickly calm someone down if you were having an anxiety episode. And the kind of motivation behind why I wanted to study this was when I was in high school, I was playing golf. I was a competitive golfer and I was pretty good. I had, a lot of talent. I could compete with, pretty much anyone, in high school. And, I had enough talent where I could, make it to the next level in college. And, I wanted to go pro. And my last year in high school, as I started talking to college coaches, I was getting a lot of attention and for whatever reason, just started dealing with performance anxiety, right? In the last year, when it's time to perform, you start thinking about it. And for me, I'm a thinker. I think way too much about everything. And so, of course, all this is kind of getting into my head, which leads to having some anxiety. And that would manifest itself on the first tee, trouble sleeping the night before tournaments. And it was just not a pleasant experience, knowing that I had all this potential, but mentally I just could not get there. And so that experience led me to want to go to school to study, what is anxiety? What does it look like in the brain and the body? And are there ways that we can hack the nervous systems to essentially calm that down or turn that off when you're in the middle of it? I had done lots of breathing practices, mindfulness practices, but those in the middle of the episodes were useless. Like they did nothing for me. They were good when I would practice them consistently as part of like just a general wellness routine. But again, in the middle of the moment, it just didn't help. And then medications, they work, but in a competitive environment, they're banned. They're not allowed in competition. But they also did make me kind of drowsy. I'd be out there on the golf course and I'm like struggling to even have energy to do anything. I'm like, yeah, this is not going to work. And so went to school and studied all kinds of different neurotechnologies. We looked at transcranial magnetic stimulation, focused ultrasonic stimulation, like really powerful stuff. But again, for a golf application or even just common everyday relaxation, these were way too complicated, overkill for, what was necessary. Started looking at more, practical options. We looked at photo biomodulation, skin vibration, thermal stimulation, all kinds of stuff. And they were interesting, but again, they didn't really have that hack the nervous system, calm you down fast kind of, outcome that I was looking for. But the one thing that caught my attention was vagus nerve stimulation. I'd never really known what the vagus nerve was until I got into my PhD program. And I read some studies that showed how when you electrically stimulate it around the ear area, you see an immediate drop in heart rate. And then if you do it for about 10, 15 minutes at a time, the severity of anxiety symptoms are less severe. And what that means is, it's not like it's going to totally stop an anxiety episode or, knock you out, but it makes it much easier to get through it. It helps you calm down. It physically suppresses physical symptoms of those episodes. And to me, it was like, that's what I needed when I was out on the golf course. And started looking into these technologies and realized that they were just very poorly designed for, bringing out onto the golf course with you, bring it out into everyday use, really hard to travel with. There are these big bulky machines with wires that come out. You got to plug into your ears, your neck, your head, soak these electrodes in a gel or a saline, and just like, this is uncomfortable. It's complicated to use. And especially when you're dealing with people with anxiety and stress, if it's uncomfortable, it's only going to make the anxiety and stress worse. And so I'm like, this is not going to work. I want to make something super easy to use, dry electrodes, comfortable, small, portable, wireless. Like, I want to make the best vagus nerve stimulator out there. And so that's what we did. We had the idea. I have one of the best engineering teams on the planet. And so we took our team and we went and won some money at Arizona State University, some business competitions. We actually beat out a couple teams from Stanford and MIT in that
I
one
mean, you
competition, which
say
is pretty
some
sweet.
money. It was pretty substantial what you won, dude.
Yeah,
Don't
we
downplay it, man. You guys rocked it out, man.
yeah, we did pretty well. We won $100,000, which was, I mean, as a college student, that's like the most mind-blowing thing ever. And we had no idea what to do with that money. We just started hacking stuff together and building and seeing what happened. We, in the process of designing a dry electrode, we're stimulating ourselves like all day, every day with all kinds of different things. And it's just like, it was a lot of fun. And it was, it was just a good time, like in the prototyping building phase. So we won that money, built some prototypes, and then we got some seed investment from some local investors, used that money to get to the final, like, ready to go product. That product then went into clinical studies. We started doing single blind sham controlled studies to demonstrate, does this thing actually work? In our minds, we're thinking this is going to be a full-on FDA cleared or FDA regulated product. So we did all the testing, we did the safety testing, we did the quality management, design controls and all that. We did the clinical studies. Took us about 2 years to do everything right, just because one, we're fresh out of college and we're trying to figure out how do you navigate the FDA. And it's like, this is the most overwhelming thing ever. So it took us a long time. And we don't have $1 million to go run, massive clinical trials. So we're like, how do you do this on a budget? And it's a very overwhelming process. But we finally got there. We did submit to the FDA, but we learned that the claim we're making of, being able to rapidly calm someone down is not really like a true medical condition, or it's not a medical claim. And so, long story short, we didn't need to go through all that trouble to get FDA clearance. So we were like, all right, well, I guess that means we're going. And so the first product that we came out with is the first one. So it's called the Verelief vagus nerve stimulator. The way that it works is you have this lid here, and then we have these little gel tips in the top. These are the dry gel tips that we made ourselves. It's a proprietary mix of just various materials that deliver the electrical stimulation comfortably. You have a little side switch here, you turn it on, and then there's some buttons that control the output. And all you do is you hold it in place just underneath the ear on the side of the neck, over a region called the tympanomastoid fissure, and that contains a branch of the nerve called the auricular vagus nerve. The way it works is you just turn it up to a comfortable setting and you just hold it there for a few minutes, plus or minus a minute or two, depending on your current state. And it feels like your whole ear just starts vibrating like crazy. If you turn it up really high, it will literally feel like your ear is trying to fly off your head. It sounds crazy. It is crazy, but it feels like it's surprisingly very comfortable. And it's just like, oh, that feels very good. And then what you would do is just switch sides, do it on the other side for the same amount of time, and then you put it down, and then you just sit back and notice like your body is just very still. Your thoughts are not like racing all over the place, and it's very relaxing. And you didn't have to do anything. All you had to do was just sit here and hold it there. And so it's kind of a passive treatment, other than all you have to do is hold it in place. It's a wireless device. When you're done, you just put the cap back on, the electrodes are stored, and it's real simple. It's sleek, it's small, easy to use, take it with you everywhere. And so that was our first model. We launched that in the very early part of this year, and we didn't do any marketing. We're still not really doing any marketing, only because, this is an electrical stimulator. We don't want to just blast this out to everyone right off the bat. We want to be really precise. Who are the exact types of people that, can benefit from this, and who are the best candidates for electrical stimulation? Long story short, everyone can benefit from this, especially the way we've designed it to be so comfortable and easy to use. But we also learned that even though this is still like one of the best, if not the best vagal nerve stimulator, it can be a lot better. So that leads us into the device that you have, which is called the Verelief Mini, which is this one. You can see it's like way smaller. It's about the size of a key fob for your car keys. And that's by design, right? Our vision was we
I
really
actually made sure that it was.
oh nice.
I
There
compared
you go.
key fob sizes.
I think your car keys have more buttons than this too. So more complicated. And so that was our goal. Our vision long term is we want to make something that is accessible and affordable for everyone, because I want everyone to have access to the benefits of vagus nerve stimulation, right? Everyone gets stressed. You don't need to have a clinical anxiety or a mental condition to experience the benefits. Everyone deals with anxiousness, stress, and could benefit from rapid relaxation, non-drug technology. So this is our attempt at getting, that practical, easy to use, affordable tech, and it's with you everywhere. We put it on a keychain, so you can literally put it on your keys. We have some people that put it on lanyards and wear it around their neck, and you can never go without it if you want, or you can just put it in your pocket, in your purse, backpack, whatever. And this is even easier to use than the first big one because there's no power switch. The lid is the power switch. So literally you just take it off, it immediately fires up, and then you just put it there. All you have to do is use the up or down button to control the intensity. So if it's too high, you can turn it down. Let's see, is that working? You can yeah, so it turns down. If it's, you want to crank it, just press and turn it up. It's that simple. It just goes. You hold it there. And again, it just feels like your whole ear is blasting. That's how you know you're hitting the nerve. And then when you're done, you just put the lid on, snaps into place, it's off, ready to go. Take it with you. And so that's how it works. It took us a long time to get to this design, but the benefits of it are really that anytime you're experiencing a stress response or an anxiety episode, or you feel like you're about to, you want to take this out, pull it off, immediately apply it, and you will feel that rapid relaxation, which for a lot of people, it has prevented panic attacks from occurring. It has helped them recover from a traumatic experience, or maybe a memory, triggers an anxiety response. This can pull them out of it. It helps a lot of people who struggle with racing thoughts, because modern life is so fast paced, there's a million things happening. This can help calm your mind so you can fall asleep. So in that regard, it helps you get better sleep. It's not super good thus far that we've learned. It's not great for helping people with like intrusive thoughts or ruminating on negativity. So like if the anxiety is in your head, if you're mentally worried about things, it's not going to take away your worries, right? This is more for the physical, suppressing the physical symptoms of that anxiety episode or stress response. So yeah, I mean, at a high level, that's how it works. Gosh, I've got a million things to say. So like, if you have any questions right now, help me get back on track. But so let's see. Oh yeah, another thing that's really cool about this too is, so one of the things when you're having an anxiety episode or stress response, the best thing, or at least the easiest, well, maybe that's not even the right word, the most accessible thing you can do is breathe, right? Yeah. Like everyone can breathe. But if you ask anyone who's in the middle of an anxiety episode, or someone who gets them frequently, they'll tell you the worst thing someone can say to you is just breathe. Say, hey man, just breathe. Like you'll get through it. It's like, yeah, duh. Like if I could breathe, right, I would. I'm trying to, but the problem is I'm hyperventilating. Slow breathing is one of the most powerful ways to physically calm yourself down. The problem is when you're in the middle of that episode, you can't do it. It's almost impossible.
Right.
And so what we found in our own just kind of anecdotal research as well in the last 4 years, there's been some studies that come out that when you pair stimulation with your breathing, it enhances the vagal stimulation effects, and it makes it a lot easier to slow your breath down. So we have a waveform in here that's programmed to ramp up and down in such a pattern that If you pair your breathing with it, it brings your breath down to 3 breaths per minute. And so 3 breaths per minute is super slow. It's really hard to do even on your own, but that's, at least according to a handful of breathing experts like Wim Hof, and there's a guy in New York named Richard Brown. They teach these 3 to 4 breaths per minute breathing tactics. Really hard to do, but when you pair it with the stim, for whatever reason, it makes it so much easier. You could just feel it. It's almost like you naturally want to just take a long exhale anyway. So that's one of the other benefits. Is it also kind of acts as a breathing tool to kind of
And
help you slow your breath down.
and in the packaging, you have the 10-minute breathing session. I think it's a 3-minute recommended breathing session, how to like basically synchronize your breath with the stim and the relaxation. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, a lot of different protocols, a lot of ways you can use it. There's been over 1,000 studies in the last 10 years on auricular vagal nerve stim for all kinds of different applications. So, a lot of potential applications, but for us, we found there's a 3-minute protocol where if you sync your breath with it, all you need to do is hold it in place for 1 minute on each side and then sit back for 1 minute. So 3 total minutes. And like your whole body, like you'll feel it in your fingertips and you'll just be like, whoa. So if you're someone who has a hard time slowing your breath down that slow, then we recommend the 10-minute protocol where you just hold it in place for 5 minutes and you don't need to do the breathing, but just sit back. Now, again, the slow breathing by itself will also help relax you. But if you test it out and you just do a basic slow breathing and then sit back, you'll notice it, you'll feel relaxed. But one thing you'll notice is you don't feel that residual like light buzziness in your head, which this product gives you. And that feeling is very calming, very relaxing. And not only subjectively does it feel good, but we also know objectively we are getting that vagal activation as indicated by increases in heart rate variability. But yeah, we have a few different protocols for different people for, how to maximize your relaxation with it. So.
Yeah. And the one thing I really like about it, just the actual stimulus, like you said, it's relaxing. I've used a couple of like ear clips in the past where, a vagus nerve stimulation to me should be a relaxing stimulation. It shouldn't be like a noxious, slightly painful stimulation, you're getting through the stim just to get the stim to the vagus nerve. The whole experience should be vagal. It should be parasympathetic. So the fact that this is an electrical impulse that feels like a nice, slight, small vibration, that's nice. That's really nice. And then the other thing too that we spoke about last week, and I know Dr. Teams is using it for other uses in the office, like trigeminal nerve stimulation, peripheral nerve stimulation. As great as it is for vagus nerve, there's other applications for it as well.
Definitely. And that's, one of the design, inputs we had early on was it would be awesome if it can be a multi-purpose nerve stimulator. And, if you take an ear clip electrode, right, you can't use that anywhere but the ear. I guess you could put it on your finger, but like what are you going to do with that? So with our device, if you just notice, like you can, as long as you can make skin contact with those gel tips, you can stimulate any nerve that's superficial to the skin. And so the number one nerve beyond vagus I recommend is, yes, trigeminal on the forehead. So you've got 3 different branches. You've got one right in the middle, and then you've got one above each eye. This is a really great method for stopping headache pain. Our device is not, it has not gone through all that rigorous testing for that, but as a concept, trigeminal nerve stimulation has been demonstrated to relieve headache pain. And there are FDA cleared devices out there that do that. Again, they're a lot more expensive, but this, you can just hold it up and that same buzzy feeling you get in your ear, you get that like going up your head.
Yeah, you feel
and
it.
it's such a strange feeling, but it's so pleasant.
Yeah.
And when you're having like throbbing pain, you just put it on there and it stops. It's like, boom, go. Now, it doesn't make it go away. It can, some people say it does, but generally speaking, it's more like just quick relief. But I still recommend, definitely take your normal headache, management regimens. beyond headache, you can do all kinds of things. You can do any nerves in the face. We have some people that have said they use it on their jaw muscle for like TMJ. You can do it kind of up in the eye region for sinus, application, sinus pain. A lot of different ways you can use this. Some people recommend doing it on the wrist. The mini is not amazing for the wrist. We have another one that has a little larger electrodes that are really good for like body applications. But yeah, I mean, you can really use this on any nerve that you can find, superficial to the skin. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I remember I read a paper, they used TENS pads in that same region for trigeminal stimulation, and they were studying like the efficacy of cerebral blood flow. And I thought that was such a cool concept because, you're applying electrical stimulation to the trigeminal nerve. And what they found was it would enhance cerebral blood flow in patients. And for me, if you're working with a concussion patient or someone with depression, like if you can do something that's not majorly energy consuming for the patient, and they can enhance their brain blood flow, that's pretty awesome, man. So yeah,
you'll have to talk with Russ pretty soon. We've been working closely with him on a new concept, but when you apply our auricular vagal nerve stim in conjunction with laser therapy and then pulsed EMF, he has this setup where he puts the pulsed EMF coil around his head, and then he put the head, our premium auricular vagal nerve stim, which I can talk in a second. But it's just like a crazy experience.
Yeah.
He was saying it's been awesome for his patients that have elevated sympathetic nervous system activity and helping them recover. But it's just like you're just blasting your nervous system with laser, pulsed EMF, and vagal nerve stim. Sounds scary, but I mean, they're all safe technologies, and you're just getting that compounding therapeutic effect the more you put together. And so for in-clinic applications, we absolutely would recommend use our vagal nerve stim in conjunction with other modalities at the same time, if possible.
Yeah, I already started doing it yesterday.
Nice. That's awesome.
Love it. And if you don't mind, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but are you able to just touch on the other technologies that you guys are working on for people interested?
Yeah. So this is our mini version. This is again, it has that one mode of operation designed to just rapidly calm you down. We do have a clinical version. I guess we're calling it the clinical version, but so this was the first model. We have a second gen version of this coming out that has larger electrodes, and it'll have multiple modes of operation. So it will have a wider range of stimulation frequencies, optimized for other nerves around the body. And the larger electrodes just are even more comfortable than these smaller ones, which is really good for sensitive patients. We found that especially in, clinics where you're treating patients with elevated sympathetic output, a lot of them are sensitive to everything, right? They're sensitive to sunscreen and common everyday items. Having electrodes that are maximum comfort are essential for those types of patients. So the second gen will be coming out. That's coming out we're expecting to ship our first few in January. And then the premium one, which is awesome. This is far and away the best model for both patient use, personal use, and for in-clinic use. But it's called the Verelief Pro. What we did was we took the technology and put it into a pair of headphones. So you can see here, just for visuals, that blue kind of attachment on the bottom. So the electrodes go inside there. You put the electrodes in, and then what you do is you just put it on like a normal pair of headphones, and it puts it in place for you. You don't have to do anything. I mean, maybe some mild adjusting. You get both sides at the same time, hands-free, and it's a fully functional pair of headphones. You can listen to music, mindfulness, any type of audio or nothing if you want, and just sit back and just get, your vagus nerve blasted and calm your sympathetic nervous system down. This is the best experience. It's the most comfortable. Subjectively, in our data research, we found that people were most relaxed after using this one, which I think makes sense, right? Hands-free, you're getting both going at the same time. Objectively, it has the same, outcome. Well, I guess that's hard to know. there's a lot of different studies out there that have shown different things with unilateral versus bilateral, but generally speaking, this is like the premium experience. It's very comfortable, and pairing it with music is just an insane experience. I was telling my friend, it's like music you can feel in your nervous system. It's a whole new way to like feel the music. It's super cool. This has a lot of different modes programmed into it, so you can have just constant stim, you can have modulated stim. We have a way for, or a mode where the music literally controls the stim. So when the beat drops, the stim drops. It's pretty nuts. And so yeah, those are the three primary tools we have. Right now we are selling these headphones. Every time you buy one, it comes with a mini, so you get both together. You can have these for at-home use, maybe for longer sessions when you get home from work or right before bed or first thing in the morning before a mindfulness or meditation or something. Or if you're on a plane, especially when you're traveling and you're on the go and your nervous system is already heightened, like this is awesome for that. And then this is just great for out and about. You just need quick access to something. So yeah, those are our products, and
Awesome.
yeah, we're just getting going. So it's gonna take off, and hopefully this thing gets out there and helps a lot of people. So
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, it's amazing what you guys are doing. So keep it up and congrats on everything. I'm a big fan. I forget where I saw you. I can't remember if I like saw your page on Instagram, and then I saw Dr. Teams using it. And then of course, like I was like, well, I got to try this thing. I can't remember where I saw you, but yeah, your Instagram page is great. You guys have tons of information out there, and anytime I do a Vegas Nerve post, I always try to tag you because you guys are the Vegas Nerve guys now.
we're maybe, I mean, we're trying to make it look like we are. We definitely know a lot about it, but we're just getting started on our Instagram. We'll start building up other platforms. We're a small team, but we're a really talented product and engineering team. And now that we've got a suite of products, the next step is, start building up some inventory and getting them out there and get the word out. And so it really helps us, talking to people like you and people who are communicating with the same, target audience that we, would like to target. So, thanks to you for, getting me on the show and just telling my story and spreading the word.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun. I mean, definitely give us a follow. We're on Instagram at the Hoolest. We are on all the other social medias as well. We'll start ramping those up. We're building up an email list where we'll be able to share a lot more precise and educational material. So if you go to our website at the Hoolest.com, Hoolest.com.
Love the Christmas decorations.
I know we had to get a little festive, man.
I know, man. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, that's most engineers, they just have a dull kind of workspace, but we're like, nope, not us. We're gonna be festive and fun.
I'll make sure I put all the links in the video.
Okay, perfect.
Section. Yeah, I'll add all that, and then yeah, we'll do it again. I did have just a couple of questions from people. They're asking if you shipped outside of the country. We had an inquiry from India. I don't know if you've.
So right now we don't ship outside of the country. We can. It's just complicated right now. If you're interested in international shipping, you can go on our website and submit our contact form or a provider form and just tell us like what you're looking at. Right now, because it's complicated, it just depends on volume. So if you're doing like a large order, we can do it. But we are looking for international distributors as well. So if there are any practitioners listening to this that purchase products from a distribution company, definitely reach out to us and let us know about who they are and help us get with them. And that would be the fastest way that we can get distribution internationally. So
cool. Well, yeah, thank you again so much for your time, and thanks for everyone tuning in. I'll make sure that we have this at the top of the page, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everyone. And enjoy a nice chill holiday.
Everybody
relaxing because sometimes traveling and being with some family members, it could be a little stressful. So make sure you bring your mini with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, the holidays, people don't talk about it, but they're some of the most stressful times of the year. So get
Yeah,
yourselves one of these and keep it chill. Keep it
that
chill this holiday season.
keep it chill.
So
And I loved what you said about the headphones, music that you can feel. That's awesome, man.
it's gonna be cool. I can't wait to start ramping those up and getting those out there. So it'll be fun. But yeah, appreciate the time. Thanks for having me on. And we'll definitely need to do this again because we've got a lot of things in the works that we'll want to share with you in the future. So it'll be
Absolutely.
fun.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.